Good morning. Welcome to Nerd Chapel. Today we get to talk about Stargate. I'm a big Stargate fan, so I'm excited. This is one of the entries I wrote for 42 Discovering Faith Through Fandom, and we're going to dig just a bit into some Jaffa language. So, let's hit it. Day 13, Shal'kek Nem'Ron by Eric Anderson. Weird guy. Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper act of worship. Romans 12:1. I am an avid fan of the TV show Stargate SG-1. Very avid. I even used to own the full 10-season box set. And now I have all 10 seasons once again, just not in the box set. The show's premise is a crew that explores new worlds through a device that can transport people between planets, the Stargate. Along the journey, you constantly see a race of beings called Jaffa, who are enslaved and used as warriors for a race called the Goa'uld. At Barnes & Noble, I found a visual guide to the show. One of the cool things about this guide was a dictionary of Jaffa words and phrases. In this list was the phrase, Shal'kek. This phrase means victory and death. But this has a different meaning to the Jaffa. A more literal translation has the thought of one's soul returning home either with or without the body. They often greeted each other with the phrase Shal'kek Nem'Ron, or I die free. This comes close to being a good slogan for Christianity, but just barely misses the bar. Jesus told us, anyone who does not take up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Matthew 10:38-39. Like it is for the Jaffa, our way to victory is through death, or rather, death to self. In other words, living for God and denying our own selfishness. I have realized over the years that this has to happen daily, especially when there is an issue of sin. Yet victory is death, is also close yet far away. Paul was torn between death to self and literal death. For me, to live is Christ and to die is gain. If I am to go on living in the body, this will mean fruitful labor for me. Yet what shall I choose? I do not know. I am torn between the two. I desire to depart and be with Christ, which is better by far, but it is more necessary for you that I remain in the body. Philippians 1, verses 21-24. I do not think Paul was thinking victory or death. In Romans 8, he tells us that we are more than conquerors, and that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. Yet he also quotes Psalm 44:22 in saying that for God's sake, we face death all day long. I think he meant victory and death. As Christians, we must face death in order to be victorious in Christ. Sometimes it is as simple as refusing our own sinful desires. Other times it is more external, such as Christians in certain parts of the world who could literally be killed and imprisoned for following Christ. Shal'kek Nem'Ron. And our quest for the day. Read Luke 9:57-62 and Luke 14:25-33. Have you ever taken time to count the cost of following Christ? Write down some thoughts on the cost of Christ, things that it has cost you or could cost you. Finally, is there a sin you need to die to? So there's some things for you to reflect on. Read Luke 9:57-62 and Luke 14:25-33. And just reflect on this. What things could following Jesus cost you, and what things do you need to die to? So there's not much going on for Nerd Chapel in the month of May. In June, we have a lot. We have JFAX. I'm very excited to be at JFAX again this year. And we also have the celebration later in the month, June 23rd through 25th. So stay tuned. I hope you're doing amazing. Bye-bye.